we've lost now two giants in racing.
Yes.
Bob Jenkins we lost a couple of weeks ago, and then today news of Robin Miller's death.
Yeah, 71,
Yeah.
had cancer. I was at an event once that he was part of.
Right.
Funny.
Great
funny.
Storyteller, my
Oh
goodness.
my gosh, just captivating. He'll be missed.
Yeah, went to Ball State, famously said he was a dropout at Ball State, landed a reporting job with the Indianapolis Star, worked here at Channel 13 with Dave Calabro for a number of years, and then went on to have this spectacular career writing, and was very honest, very critical of drivers and Tony George and the IRL and IndyCar, but really always told it the way it was. And Dave Calabro knew Robin as well as anybody. And so tonight I talked to Dave and found out a few stories about Robin Miller.
Man, I tell you what, we lost a great human being today, Scott. Robin Miller had this incredible personality. It didn't matter if the president of the United States walked in the room or Joe Schmo, Mary Beer Can, the race car fan. He treated everybody the same way. And Robin was always, he always cared about you. I was telling my wife, every time I saw Robin, he would immediately, didn't care. I don't care what event was going on. Hey, how's Lisa doing? What's Drew and Alex doing? He barely knew my family, but he acted like he knew them each and every way. And that's how he was with everybody he met. He just had that one-of-a-kind personality. And he had this passion for the Indy 500 that started at Southport High School. And he turned it into, as he told me, he goes, I'm still fooling him after all. 50 years he got to play journalist, race car driver wannabe. And he was just a great personality, Scott. His favorite hangout was the working man's friend. He would take a greasy cheeseburger over any fancy meal ever. Back in the 90s, we started this show called The Sports Jam. And there was one guy in town who could really draw an audience, and that was Robin Miller, because he was such a talented writer at the Indianapolis Star, polarizing at times. But Robin always said what was on his mind. I mean, he was honest, and he would look a driver straight in the eye and tell him, hey, this is the facts. You can try to spin the facts. And so I was always in the middle of some interesting conversation with Robin, whether it was Bobby Knight, who he would be standing up to and, correcting Bobby on something that he had spun into his own way of thinking. Robin was a factual-based journalist. He was one of a kind, and we had a lot of fun together through the years. And cancer sucks. We've lost another great human being to cancer. So I think that would be my message to people tonight, is if you can get involved somehow to donate to cancer research, whatever form that looks like, get involved. I was just with Jared Andretti, John Andretti's son, who's carrying on the tradition of the Andretti Racing for Riley event, 25 years in running. So, whatever your sphere of influence is, try to use that to help other people out. And that's how Robin was. Yeah, that's the kind of guy he was.
He had a pretty interesting and colorful relationship with lots of the IndyCar drivers, didn't he?
Oh, I don't even know where to start with all of that. You never knew what the guys were going to say. I remember one time he got into it with A.J. Foyt. They went behind the wall and had a man-to-man discussion, like in your face, this kind of conversation. And then 2 hours later, they were slapping each other in the back and high-fiving. So, yeah, Robin always told these guys to their face what he thought. And, sometimes it didn't go so well. But that's what I liked about the guy. He was honest to you to your face.
And I remember during the split, he had a lot of pretty frank, candid comments about Tony George and, the IRL at that time, didn't he?
Yeah, he went after Tony George quite heavily in the Indy Racing League, and how he thought that was going to be a detriment. And you know what? Down the road, he was absolutely right. But he was one of the few guys who stood up and said, I don't think this is going to work. And he stuck his guns on that, and it cost him lots and lots of money because he took that stance. But, again, that was Robin. The other thing about Robin, I just thought about this, he always had Long's Donuts with him. I don't care what time of day it was. He would have a fresh dozen Long's Donuts. And he always had bubble gum with it. So that was Robin Miller in a nutshell. That's the kind of guy he was.
I love hearing that.
Yeah, our thanks to Dave Calabro, really shedding that personal, light on Robin Miller, who was really a legend in the business. And tonight, Angela, we're hearing from so many drivers and owners. Michael Andretti saying, so sad of hearing the passing of Robin Miller. We've lost one of the great characters of auto racing. Prayers to his family. We heard Doug Bowles, president of the IndyCar in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tough few weeks around IMS. Nobody cared more about telling the stories and creating fans of our sport than Robin Miller. A couple of others that I just wanted to mention to you as I go through, as I try to, there's so many of them.
His column was a must read.
Oh, it was? Every
time he wrote anything, it was a must read.
Yeah, Alexander Rossi, his wit and insight will be sorely missed. Tony Kanaan, you'll be missed, kid. A couple of others, just as I'm looking, Joseph Newgarden. I learned more about the history of IndyCar from Robin Miller than anyone else. Just maybe one or two others. Mario Andretti, farewell, my friend. When goodbye is too hard to say, a hug will tell them what they need to know. Rest in peace. Tony Stewart, Robin Miller was no BS guy who called it as he saw it from Tony Stewart Smoke. So anyway.
They may not have liked what he said on occasion, but I have a feeling they appreciated his honesty.
Yeah, and he was definitely colorful. He did not hold back, told it the way it is.